What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ravi Wadden, and in today's video, I want to talk about an amazing and what perhaps might be the best lease deal on a full-size pickup truck, a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500. So what we'll do in this video is we'll head over to the GMC website and we'll kind of study and dissect this lease deal in detail, and I'll give you lots of helpful leasing tips and tricks along the way. Then what we'll do is we'll run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this GMC Sierra so that you can see why this is a good deal in terms of value. And then in the third part of this video, what we'll do is we'll compare the monthly lease payments to the monthly finance payments, and then you'll understand why leasing this truck is sort of a financial no-brainer. So if that sounds good to you, please be sure to like this video and please be sure to follow or subscribe. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the computer behind me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on GMC's website. And as you can see here, they have this lease deal on a 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 short box crew cab, four-wheel drive elevation with a Turbo Max engine. And you can lease this truck for $469 a month. It's a 36-month lease that requires $5,299 due at signing. Now, as you can see here, this is a lease that allows for 30,000 miles in total, so 10,000 miles a year. And if you go over that 30,000 miles in the course of 3 years, you will be charged an excess mileage penalty of 25 cents a mile. But you know, what I like to tell everyone watching is that if you know you drive 12 or 15,000 miles a year, it's typically much cheaper to negotiate a 12 or 15,000 mile a year lease up front rather than paying this excess mileage penalty. But if you do end up getting a 10,000 mile a year lease, and then let's say 2 years into your lease, you're like, oh man, I'm driving 12 or 13,000 miles a year. What you want to do is maybe call GMC Financial, and what you can do is you can actually buy miles at a discounted rate. So you can buy miles for a rate that's less than 25 cents a mile. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know what they would charge, but I know that probably would charge 15 to 20 cents a mile. So you would save a substantial amount of money by going that route. Now, anytime you look at a lease deal, you always want to look at the fine print. And as you can see here down at the bottom of the screen, let me see if I can zoom in here. I don't know if it'll let me. Oh, here we go. So there's an MSRP on this truck is $57,195, and you'll see that will come into play when we run the 1.25% rule of leasing on this car. And you can also see the 36 monthly payments total $16,884. And then you can see here in the fine print that you have the purchase at lease end. So you can purchase this truck, at lease end for an amount to be determined at lease signing. So it just depends on the residual value of this particular truck. They typically write the residual value in the fine print, but GM does not do that. And then you also see that you'll need to take delivery of this truck by September 3rd, 2024 to get this lease deal. But now really quick, what I want to do is run my 1.25% rule of leasing on this truck to show you guys why it's a good lease deal in terms of value. So what we're going to do is we'll take the due at signing amount of $5,299, and then we'll subtract the monthly payment of $469 from that amount, and I get $4,830. Now what I'll do is I'll divide this by 36 since this is a 36-month lease, and that gives me $134. So what I did is take that total due at signing amount and break it up into 36 equal parts. I get $134. Now I'll add the monthly payment of $469 back in. That gives me a monthly pre-tax payment with $0 due at signing of $603, but it doesn't include sales tax. And I'll multiply this by 1.1 to account for 10% sales tax, because that is the sales tax rate here in Seattle. If your sales tax rate is 6%, just multiply by 1.06. If it's 7%, multiply by 1.07. I'm going to multiply by 1.1. And that gives me a monthly payment. So this includes sales tax with $0 down, not $0 out of pocket, $0 down because you still have to pay for tax, title, license, and dealer fees, but $0 down of $663 a month. Now what I need to do is actually go back to this fine print because I need to see the MSRP, which is $57,195. So if I bust out that calculator again, I'll divide this monthly payment by this truck's MSRP, which is $57,195. I I get 0.0116. I'll multiply this by 100 to move the decimal point over 2 spots, and that gives me 1.16%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you're looking to lease a vehicle, and it doesn't matter if it's this truck or any other vehicle, you want to follow, or I suggest you follow my 1.25% rule of leasing. So anytime you take your monthly payment with $0 down, including sales tax, and you divide it by the vehicle's MSRP, and you get a number less than 1.5%, that's a good lease deal. That's a car that I would lease over finance. And that's a car that makes financial sense to lease over financing that same car. If you get a number under 1.25%, that's a great lease deal. So, as you work your way down, you're getting an even better lease deal in terms of value. And this GMC Sierra is sitting at 1.16%. And if you're under 1% or at or around 1%, that's an amazing lease deal. And there's very few cars out there that actually, qualify for the 1% lease deal. It used to be more common, but today it's typically reserved for electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid vehicles because they do qualify for the $7,500 EV tax credit. But this GMC Sierra sitting at 1.16% is a great lease deal in terms of value. Now, if we go back to the calculator, you'll see that the monthly payment when you lease this truck with $0 down, including sales tax, was $663 a month. Now, the monthly payment is $921 a month when you assume a selling price of $57,195, which is the vehicle's MSRP, a loan term of 72 months, an interest rate of 5%, no down payment since we didn't put any down payment on the lease. We used a sales tax rate of 10%, and we didn't include title registration and other fees because we didn't do that in the lease either. So $921 a month versus $663 a month when you lease it. Now, even if you were to be able to get, let's say, a 10% discount on this truck, so let's say the selling price is $52,195. Actually, let's just make it $50,195. Let's say you got $7,000 off of this truck, which is a great deal. When you're buying any type of car in this market, you're still looking at a payment of $808 a month versus leasing this truck at $663 a month. Now, a lot of you saying that, hey, Ravi, but when you buy it, I can keep this truck for as long as I want because leasing is just a rental. But remember that all leases, aside from Tesla leases, all leases have a buyout option. So at the end of your lease term, you can always, determine whether or not you have positive equity or not, or whether or not it makes financial sense to buy the car. You can keep this car or keep this truck, for the long term. And if you have positive equity, you also have the ability to sell this truck before the lease ends, and you can maybe put some money, maybe a couple $1,000s or a few $1,000s or perhaps more back into your pocket, which would lower your effective monthly payment even more. But yeah, at the end of the day, $663 versus $808. And this is, giving you guys the benefit of a doubt of a $7,000 discount. And that's why leasing this particular truck makes a lot of financial sense. Now, if you guys have any car or truck leasing questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And please be sure to check out DriveMatch.com. It's a company that I co-founded where you can get pre-negotiated lease deals. Because remember, even though manufacturers post ads like this and you can, get these advertised lease specials, sometimes it can be extremely difficult. It is possible, but it's not probable to get lease deals like this unless you spend, countless hours emailing dealerships and trying to negotiate a deal. So with DriveMatch, we've done the negotiation on your behalf, and the cars are available and you don't even have to pay a fee. But if you have any questions about leasing, I'm here to empower all of you guys on your car leasing journey, whether or not you use DriveMatch.com. But with that, I'm going to call it a video. Thank you all for watching. Financial knowledge is power. Please like and follow for more.